like I said before, 1 in every 4 people experience cheese psychosis. And what I'm going to do, because we have people here, I've brought along a test of a Rorschachs that I use.
Wow, thank you.
Now, what I'm going to ask is I'm going to hold up pictures for you. And you tell me if you see cheese or anything sexual within the cheese. Do you understand?
Yes.
If you see cheese, then you're on your way to being a cheese pervert. If you see something sexual, I have bad news for you. You're on your way that much further. So what do you see first in this Rorschach?
SpongeBob jumping out of Tower 1 on September 11th.
Interesting. Jacob, what do you see?
I think I just see cheese maybe with a little nibble out of it.
I can see that.
I see a young boy striking out in Little League.
It's very interesting. Okay. Rorschach number 2. What do you see? Do you see anything sexual in this Rorschach with the cheese?
I see a baby carriage with titties.
I see
Jack.
I see Miss Pac-Man.
After the divorce.
I see regular Pac-Man after the divorce.
It's very interesting. This next Rorschach with cheese, do you see? What do you see, Michael?
I see a Civil War cannon that's been sucked way too often.
Jacob,
I mean, it looks like
get a good look
the
at
cheese
it.
is almost gone. Somebody should take care of that cheese before.
So you
Right.
do see cheese.
I see cheese.
Do you see any other thoughts going into your brain of yours?
No, I see a scarcity of cheese. It makes me want the cheese.
He wants the cheese.
I see a baby arm holding a ball of burrata.
The final. Now where? This Rorschach is very.
Doctor, could you also show the chat a clearer view of that picture? And chat, if you want to offer your interpretations of what this image presents, please feel free to comment in the chat before we go to you for the rest of the questions.
Now, Michael, what do you see? Do you see anything sexual, anything cheesy?
Timothy McVeigh the night before the bombings.
Interesting.
I see a waiter with a pepper grinder on top of cheese saying, "Tell me when."
I see a college sophomore going to a high schooler's senior prom.
I'm going to give you one more try on that one. Come on now.
Batman fucking cheese?
That's what I like to see. Now, Batman fucking cheese. Very interesting, Jonathan, because you are displaying what we call Pavlonian superhero and cheese, which means that you are the odd man out, and your friend here has the tendency of a cheese fucker.
Oh, wow.
Oh, no. That's bad news.
Can I offer you a glass of milk or some cheese, John?
I don't think that's the right thing right now.
Jonathan, what would you say your intake of cheese is daily?
On a poundage?
Just your day to day.
Milligram?
Like consuming it?
Do you
or
wake up
pounding it?
and then you eat cheese? Do you eat cheese in the afternoon? You eat cheese at night? Do you eat cheese before bed?
Yeah. Last thing I ate was the bottom of a bag of shredded Sargento mozzarella.
No. Have you ever thought, what would that cheese feel like inside you? Not in your belly.
I haven't thought of it, but I have dreamt of it.
Now, these dreams, did they go on when you close your eyes? Every moment you're awake, are you in another life?
No, it's nighttime cheese dreams.
Nocturnal cheese dreams.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
And
do you
those
have...
dreams are not dry.
I was going to say, do you have emissions?
Yeah, we take off, baby.
just behavior of a cheese pervert.
Is there any way that we could have John fitted for a chastity belt which may prevent him from fulfilling his fantasies?
Now we have grater belts.
Yes, I was gonna say it would be nice if a solid cheese could come nowhere near my penis.
There's no way that we could guarantee that you won't break the habit. See, the problem is with cheese psychosis, lactosis, it's very hard to police these people without permanent, incarceration of the person. We have to keep them under observation at all times. But there's no way that we could just police you the way that we need to do it, you see, John. We'd have to have you on honor system. There'd have to be people just believing you at every turn. But I can tell in your eyes right now that you would totally put cheese inside of you. Given alone time with the cheese, I can see it in the eyes.
Do you know if my insurance would cover this treatment?
Do you have Aetna?
Blue Cross Blue Shield.
No.
Oh, fuck.
Doctor, what is the most common position in which cheese fuckers will penetrate the cheese?
Common position.
Or have the cheese penetrate them, yes.
It's on top. They lay without, straight on the supine position. And they put cheese, almost like pinwheel, on top of penis. And then they just wait. And then they go up and down. It's called the Swiss Alp. That's what we call.
Now, doctor, when they complete, will they then flip the wheel over to penetrate the other side?
Yes, and they call that stuffing the crust. Like I said, Michael is on his surewire way to being in this field you know so much about.
Chat, doctor, if you don't mind, I'd like to ask the chat what questions they may have for you, because I'm sure they're interested in being educated as much as we are. So I think they could afford to learn a lot from us. So chat, if you have any questions that you would like to ask Dr. VanJarlsberg, I'm sure he'd be happy to answer them for you.
Before we go to the chat, I do have one question. Is it normal for your left arm to go completely numb as part of lactosis?
Well, Jonathan, that's usually called the heart attack.
Okay. I always thought it was the right arm, but lefty's feeling a little bit not feeling.
I would say use your Blue Cross Blue Shield to slay that dragon.
Is that better?
It's not going to get better.
Doctor, Eric Roca has a question, and he asks, how did you become such a cheese whiz?
I studied at Cambridge for a very long time in their cheese classes there. I also spent an entire summer working at the Papa John's. So you learn.
I have to sneeze so bad, and I'm not going to do it.
Is that a symptom of cheese psychosis, doctor?
I mean, the allergies that you are experiencing now and earlier with the way the Rorschach test works, like I said, the 1 out of 4 people, but there could be more. Because also cheese psychosis syncs up almost like a menstrual cycle, only it's way more cheesier.
Oh my God. So I could be catching his cheese pervertness?
You could be syncing up like a lunar phase, like whatever they believe. And then your tides go in and out, but it's just cheesy.
That makes sense. The moon is cheese, right? That makes sense.
Yeah. It's very, very common. You're like a lactose werewolf for the most part. Like you change with the phases. You're maybe a waxing gibbous now, but when you are a waning gooch, you.
That's a phase of the moon I haven't heard of.
It's a very uncommon phase.
Doctor, earlier you had mentioned grading belts for chastity.
Yes.
I want to know, how large do those belts are they made?
Do they make grading suspenders as well?
Now, here's the thing. What I can tell you is usually it's one side splits all with graders.
Really?
But we will make exception. We always need people because this area is so foreign and non-common for almost people. We do need people to test new things all the time. Now, Jacob, if you'd like me to set you up with an appointment to try to fit whatever you've got in degrading, I will do it. But you might be degraded.
Doctor, is there any way that you could fit him in concurrence with his cheese apnea mask that he wears at nighttime?
Oh, yes. Very much so. Yeah, we can make it all one unit. We also can put you in an iron lung of cheese as well to make you sure that you don't move at all. It's almost like just a cage for an animal. Do you feel animalistic, Jacob?
I have impulses.
Do you walk
and
down
urges.
dairy aisle and get sweaty?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Are you uneasy around children eating mozzarella sticks?
I've caught myself like having violent thoughts around people with mozzarella sticks, not just children. Anyone with mozzarella sticks.
Interesting. Now,
What do you think?
Doctor, and there's something that Jacob's not being truthful in, and I have seen him sucking the breading off of mozzarella sticks. So please weigh that into your decision as well.
now, when you take the breading off of the mozzarella,
Yeah.
how long before you eat the whole cheese?
Well, I let it cool down first.
How long do you keep your eyes on the cheese?
I don't think I take my eyes off the cheese.
How long do you put your lips on the cheese?
About 13 seconds.
How long do you put your tongue on the cheese?
Once it's on my lips, the tongue is out. And it just doesn't stop from there.
When you swallow the cheese, Jacob,
Yeah.
do you spit it back up?
Not normally, unless it's constricting my airway.
Doctor, if I may add something, from the second Jake orders those mozzarella sticks, he's got his tongue out like the Rolling Stones logo.
Do you give it 40 licks?
No, I don't give it 40 licks.
Now look, you just started me up, and once you start me up,
Listen, you can't always get what you want, Doctor.
well, it seems like you maybe need to stop going to Ruby Tuesdays. Clearly, the mozzarella sticks there have been your undoing.
Chat, is nacho cheese too viscous for your urethra? Rocco Greco asks.
Nacho cheese too viscous for the only if you don't have pipe cleaner.
Does lactose always lead to swinophilia, or just in this one case?
Swinophilia. Nah, it usually are two very separate things. Usually, a lot of times, the only thing that will happen is that you focus so much on cheese or other dairy-related products, you do not go out of it. And that's the thing, too, that I found out with most cheese psychosis, is that most of the people, they hunt within their own color as well. You don't see anybody fucking around with black cheeses. Jonathan, have you had an attraction to black cheese?
Black cheeses? I haven't.
Would you say that you get uneasy when black cheeses are around you?
Yes.
I will say that he does pronounce the hard R on cheddar.
It's very interesting.
Has anybody tried cheese jerking? Maybe homie was onto something. Doctor, do you notice that a lot in addition to cheese fucking?
Oh, there's always cheddar masturbation. Always types of lactose masturbation. That's where it always starts, because you experiment. Like Jacob was talking about how he puts the cheese in his mouth and then he swallows it to the point that he has to choke it back up because he has so much cheese in his mouth and he loves it. That will transfer to him putting cheese or queso or even dip on his penis or anus.
What kind of dip you mean?
Cheesy dip.
Oh, yes. Okay. And is that a dip that just contains cheese, or is it all cheese?
It's mostly, well, I mean, have you ever made your own cheesy dip for like Super Bowl party or maybe March Madness?
I'm thinking of a spinach artichoke dip or a 7-layer dip. Those aren't all cheese, but they do seem
They're cheese.
quite fuckable.
Have you, well, see, now you're going into a different type of food psychosis as well. Have you, now, when you start 7-layer dip, Jonathan, how far do you think, which layer do you think that you will not into if you penetrate? How many layers do you think you'd get down before
I think I'd be done before I got to layer 5.
you're a 5-layer fuck?
It's his own
Yeah.
Dante's Inferno.
That would be fair to say. 5-layer fucker.
How about you, Jacob? How many layers?
Probably 2. Probably 2 layers.
You're not being confident.
I know. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of padding down there, so I think it's only get the 2 and I'd be done.
Jacob, are you still thinking about the cheese in your mouth?
No.
You're
I'm
not thinking about your lips on the mozzarella.
Stop talking about it. I am not thinking about my lips on mozzarella.
Are you sure, Jacob?
Yes, I'm sure.
How about you, Michael?
I would get through 2 layers, and then I would blame my wife for not letting me get through the next 2.
Now, you think your wife stands in your way of your cheese sex?
Occasionally, yes.
Now, do you resent her for that, Michael?
A bit.
Do you look at her as someone who stands in your way?
I can give you at least one instance where I was riding a brick of Cracker Barrel reverse cowgirl last Halloween, and I had barricaded the door, and she came through the window like a goddamn animal and scared me, and I haven't done it since. Not because I don't want to, but because, 1, I don't want to pay for another window, and 2, I felt shamed by it.
Now, the shame, does that stick with you with other things that you do in your day-to-day? Are you constantly worried of your wife staying in the way of anything else you may fuck?
I say it sticks with me like cooled cheese.
Now, have you ever thought about maybe getting in the tub, taking slices of American singles,
Yes.
putting them all over your body and just waiting for it to congeal, getting hard?
I have thought about that, and to that point, I've secretly joined a dating site called Craft Singles.
How's it working out for you, Michael? Does it feel like it fills the void?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I feel fulfilled.
Would you say that love is a cheesy thing?
I would say that, yes, doctor.
I have a question for you, Doctor.
It's better than being provolone.
When I was a small child, I ate my first fried provolone, much like fried mozzarella, but it was provolone cheese, and I didn't chew it up enough, and my father had to retrieve the stretched cheese from my throat to stop me from choking. Now I can't come unless I hear a small boy that can't breathe. Do you think those things are related?
My first question is, how wide were your father's fingers?
He had some thick fingers.
He had the sausage fingers.
Yes.
He was an Italian construction worker.
He had a man's hands.
Now, when he pulled it out, did he go, oppa? Real big.
He didn't, but the restaurant applauded as though he had.